Hello everyone, and as you can see, I'm in the editor. I'm actually working on a map here. And the editor's got some issues of its own, like right here. I don't know how those two got put there, but I need to figure out who owns those so I can get rid of them. But anyways, this is more of my comprehensive review. You saw that I had that initial one, right? So that's a village. That's a village. That's a village. Need to figure out who those two spawning points belong to. Alright, so now it's gone. Yeah, it's some kind of bug. Some of these, like, I don't even remember getting this. See, Alright, what? I believe that was village 12. And village 12 is over there. What I need to do is figure out where these, can I delete? Create spawn point. Delete. Create spawn point. That one's over there. Delete. Create spawn point. If it's all the way over there, that means that the faction does not exist. Need to figure out who that last one belongs to. It's probably neutrals. And that would explain a lot. Alright, so let me slap it there. Yoink. And then delete. Alright, that should solve. No, because there's one over here now. What the hell? Create spawn point. It's over there. Create spawn point. It's over there. Create spawn point. Whose goddamn spawn point is that? It's neutrals, isn't it? Nope. Alright, so we have. I'll bet you it's one of the players. Nope. Alright. And I have a player 6. Yeah, player 6 is right there. Why is it allowing me to fucking move the shit now? Alright, let me grid so I can center it. That looks like the center. Yoink. Okay, going through this again. That one should be over there. That is right. That one should be there. That is right. That one should be there. And that one should be up north. How did the spawn point get from there to there? Oh, what the hell? Create spawn point. Yoink. And I don't know how the estates effing work. Alright, so that should be the problem fixed. It should be resolved. No further issues from that. Okay. Blue has one. Green has one. Orange, yellow, red, and teal. Okay. And the villages each have one. And yes, there are some camels floating in the air there. Let's see. Units. Delete. I was going to have kind of a little gag of like having this giant mountain and then there's like 5 camels on top of it, but it didn't pan out because it was causing the camera to go whoop and then jump right back down, and it was like, oh, I'm going to get sick from this shit. Motion sickness, if you will. Alright, so what I have here is an estate, and yeah, it looks heavily defended, but I was able to take it with, I think, about 40 horse archers and about 20 mantlets, so relatively for a player, this is easy to take. And then this is nothing either. It's just a little random fort I threw in there. Then there's a village here, it creates stone. One down here creates pitch, and then the one up there creates iron. They were more for like the AIs to use or whatever, but then I have this little random fort here to kind of give the AIs trouble and give me trouble. So, getting on with the review itself, I think Stronghold 2 Crusader is a good game. Not a great game, but a good one. I feel like it's a lot of the same old, same old. Like, there wasn't really anything new added to it, aside from some of the unit changes and then the hero, or not hero, but the like leadership abilities of some guys that they threw in, such as the man-at-arms. No, not the man-at-arms. Like, the macemen have a charge ability. The rangers can kind of alternate between melee and ranged. You have the healers, which heal people, which is something the original Crusader could have flipping used, just some kind of method of healing, whether it be create a, like, they get healed up at the apothecary or some shit. The Assassinate Knights, who also have a charge ability. The Sergeant at Arms, that's it. He has like an armor buff, which Firefly for some reason dumbed down because I guess it was overpowered, which makes no sense to me because both players could actually use the same unit. So I was kind of like, eh. And then the Slave Gyro, which makes slaves tougher slightly, which it is noticeable. And then you have the Whirling Dervish, which I feel like they might be a little bit too strong in terms of the damage they deal, but let me zoom in if it'll let me. Okay, I'm gonna have to delete him. Oh, never mind. So you have the Whirling Dervish, and then the Siege Equipment, which you have all these things, which the new one is the Werewolf Catapult, which I believe is more of like the Wolf's kind of trademark catapult. You have the Hussite War Wagon. The Burning Cart's a new one from the original Stronghold, and then the Mantlet, which used to be called the, I think it was just called Shield or something like the, what the hell was it called? It was called like a shield, mobile shield or some shit like that. But it too has like a little R and it provides protection from arrows and such, which it's a very useful thing to have. And I'll show you that right quick. There it is. The Hussite War Wagon, which is basically it's like a transport. You've seen me use it before. I used it, I think, on the second game I played. Fire Ballistic, you know what that is. Burning Carts are actually pretty fun. You can set like buildings on fire. It's kind of like a suicidal type deal. There's the War Wagon. Spin around here so you can see the front of it. It's got a little wolf head in the front, and then I believe that's all the new ones. And you have the Slave Driver, Sergeant at Arms, Assassinate Knight, which he's actually a mounted guy, and then the Ranger, and the Macemen. They had a little change, but otherwise they're the same. There are a lot of noticeable bugs with this game, not game-breaking ones, but I've also seen a lot or heard a lot of people having multiplayer issues where the frame rate will drop and all that other stuff, and that's because this game runs on a very fucking aged engine. If you've noticed, like not the population limit, but the building limits and the unit limits are so fucking low, it's kind of silly. When you have like, I think maybe when you get to about 5 players is when it gets a little bit of a hassle, and that's because the game engine is fucking pathetic. Like my PC could it gets good frame rate, it really does. I rarely see a drop in frame rate. The only time I really see a drop is when there's a shitload of flames running around, and I mean a shitload of flames, like a fucking firestorm covering half the screen going on. That is the only time I notice a significant drop in frame rate. Otherwise, this game runs smoothly as can be. I have noticed, though, with some of the later patches that they've had, that the load times are actually getting longer and longer, and I don't know why. Probably because they're updating things a little bit oddly. I've played the Skirmish Trails, which I'm to the last one now, Hell's Teeth, I think it's called, and that one's giving me a lot of trouble. I think they may have made the first mission a little bit too hard. It's very strenuous, very it's one of those things where if you have one little misstep, you're kind of fucked because you start off with such an insignificant amount of resources. You have very little land, next to no oasis, and the only real resource you can make any kind of money off of is ale to a small degree, and then candles. That's pretty much your big money maker is candles. Otherwise, you have to buy all your stone. You have to buy well, you do get some wood, but you have to buy most of your wood. But you buy most of your wood anyways. Like wood is such a spammed resource, which I think is kind of silly. Like with stone, once you have what you want, you just kind of start selling it off. And this one, wood is just you have to buy a lot of it in order to get a functioning economy. It really does. Like the woodcutters, the changes they made to the woodcutters were great. I like that the woodcutters now have a smaller thing, which I'll show you here in a bit. Resource building, wood camp. Like it used to be, like it would pretty much take up almost this entire square right here. Well, maybe roughly half of it, but now it's like a 2x3 building, so you can kind of like you can just spam them in like a heavily wooded area. Whoops, zoom out. Whoa. Like for example, like here, like I could easily just spam a crap load of them, like right around there. Although another problem I have with the editor is that the old editor for the original Crusader, you could tell how many buildings, like for, let's say, the quarry here. Like, I would be able to know how many I could place in each little resource pocket. And here, you can just toss these things like in the middle of the flipping map or whatever, which I think is kind of stupid. It makes it hard to tell. All right, how many stone mines could somebody have here? How many iron mines could they put in? How many pit rigs, etc. So it's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna have to hopefully guess. However, I know how, like, usually I just make them in like little squares. Like, here, I'll show you. Resources, iron, like that. I kind of have them in little squares. Like, you can probably get about, I'm gonna say about 2. You probably get, no, you won't be able to get one there because land's not even enough. You won't be able to get one there, not enough. So one there, maybe 2 there, one there, one there, one there. Maybe 2. I doubt it though. But I think if you really push the one right here off to the edge as much as possible, you could probably stuff a second one there, and then I think you could put one there, provided the terrain's cooperating. With the stone, yeah, you could probably get about 2 for each little square, except for maybe this one. But on a whole scale, I like the map editor. I really do. I mean, here, I'll give you the whole shtick of how. I mean, this map is fucking huge too. I mean, it's big. I try to make enough room for 8 players, but I'm like, I'm not gonna fight 8 AIs because the whole idea was, all right, I'm gonna do the 7 wolf challenge, and I forgot. Oh yeah, there's like a 125 unit limit once you have more than 7 players around, so, or more than 6 players around. So I'm like, I'll just leave it at 6 or something like that. Which there's another glitch with that, because as I set up those 3 estates, and like I said, if they don't work, I'm just gonna make it like random strongholds with the buildings on top of the resource, and you just destroy the buildings to get the resource to be able to use it. So let's say I started started over here, and then I'm like, oh hey, look at all this stone that I could use, even though you got like a shitload there. But these 2 are, if it were like a player versus player, then these 2 would be going at it like head to head almost from the get go, and this one would have to worry about him attacking, whereas this one would have to worry about him attacking. So it's a little balanced out, and then over here it's like these 2 will probably be bumping heads. However, the map is designed mainly for like these 3 to be allied and for these 3 to be allied if it goes to like a 3v3, or you could have these 3 allied against these 3, although this one would be like hard pressed against these 2, but he has a nice defensive locale, and he has a small oasis up there, so he doesn't have to rely on that, but that's his really big catch. And then he also has a little bit of stone, a little bit of iron. This player, they have a very good defensive position. There's stones right along there. And I'll show you the regions. So yeah, I got it like that. Yeah, that one's right there. I made it to where they can't like slap towers and gates and shit all through there. So the ramp is kind of like a neutral zone. Well, it is a neutral zone. These 2 are just squares. This one's a square, and then this one they can just build along the cliff there. But yeah, these 2 are bumping heads. This one would have the advantage. However, this one has access to more stone, or easier access to stone, and it has a little buffer state right here. They can kind of keep it protected. What else is there to say? Oh yeah, and then the reason why that's there is like for the iron. So let's say that player wants that iron, they can just kill them off and then take it, or this player can run in, snag it, and then try to get as much iron from it as possible. There's a few lion's dens shown around, although I might get rid of that one because the AIs don't fucking destroy the lion's dens. They just let them sit there and just kill the lions as they come out. So I might also get rid of that one. However, for multiplayer, I'm going to attempt to upload this map to like for people to download and have fun with and whatnot. So this will be the one that I share with the world, more or less. But getting back to the review, and I'm gonna try to kind of keep this tone, or not tone down, but again, the engine is a POS. It's the reason why you don't have this. The reason why the unit limits are there is because the game cannot handle that many units at one time, and the AIs like to spam units. So even with the limits, the AI is hogging all the fucking shit in my microphone. It's all wigging out. I can hear beep beep, or not beep beep, but like the creaking sound. It's like, that's gonna annoy people. I like the skirmish trail. Its difficulty curve was very infrequent. Like one mission would be really, really hard, and then like the next 2 would be really easy, and then the next 2 would be really hard, and then one more would be kind of medium. But I didn't understand the difficulty spikes. It should have been a slow progression from easy to hard, and not a all right, well here's an easy freebie for you since that last one was a little bit tough, but after this one it's going to get tougher, but then we'll get a little bit easier on you. So I'm like, it's a non-existent difficulty curve, so the skirmish trail does not accomplish what it's set up and designed to do, because 90% of these missions you're rushing to build up, which is, I think, the intention of it, but I don't feel like I got any better as I was playing the trail. I think I either got really frustrated or I got really happy. Like, oh my god, I finally beat that one. Let's see. The campaign was nah. I didn't think much of it. It was okay. Not as good as the original ones or the goofiness that the original Stronghold had. Admittedly, it was a lot better than Stronghold 2 storyline, which I thought was complete and utter garbage. But Stronghold isn't known for its defining stories with depth and drama and mystery and shit. I mean, the only real memorable character they have as a whole that everybody fucking knows is the Wolf, and then his three colleagues, which are relatively infamous. Mainly the villain characters get a lot of recognition for being awesome. Like the sheriff, I think is kind of funny in his own way, although he's not in this game, at least yet. The original Caliph easily trumps the one they had in this one. The one in this one is he's not as cynical. I like the old one. He seemed a little ridiculous, like he was an over exaggerated villain type deal. If you get what I'm saying. Like his most infamous term is calling the player an infidel. So it's like he's always calling you an infidel, even if you're an Arabic lord. He's like, "You infidel, you will die, rah, as I send my slave army to kill you." And then the AI Sultana was supposed to use assassins, but for whatever reason, her AI does not use them. She just uses archers and swordsmen. So hopefully Firefly will get around to fixing that. There was another mission in the skirmish show that they made it to where the AIs have 1250 gold and the player no, the AIs have 750 and the player has 250, I think, something like that. I felt like that was making it a little bit too hard. I managed to beat it, but barely. My allies still died, which I was, whatever about. But it's you and the Slave King versus, I think there's a wolf, caliph, rat, and a lionheart. I want to say there's like 5 AIs in total. And there's another one where you fight 2 rats, 2 lionhearts, and a wolf, and that one annoyed the shit out of me. But once I figured it out, it was actually not that bad. It was actually fairly easy. And I was watching Sergey's videos, which if you're having trouble with this game and the skirmish trails or anything like that, watch his videos because he's gotten through the entire skirmish trail. He knows what he's doing. He's really good at this game. He probably won't admit it, but he really is good at this game. But as far as the game itself goes, like I said, it's a good game. It's an average game, really. I give it like a 7 out of 10. It's slightly above average. I know I just said it's an average game, but the thing is that it doesn't really expand what was already there in the original Crusader. If anything, it actually took away from the original Crusader because you can't build moats, which was the ideal counter to assassins. Assassins are fucking easy to abuse in this game. What else? Siege towers. I would like to have siege towers because could you could you imagine how much devastation you could wreak if you threw in a bunch of whirling diversions in a fucking siege tower? You would destroy somebody's defenses with that sucker. And this one, it's all dependent on the fucking trip. Like, all the other siege equipment, for the most part, is kind of useless in my opinion, except for ballistas, trebuchets, mantlets, and you can use burning carts to a relative degree. But like the catapults and the war wagons are good too. War wagons have more quote unquote pain tolerance than the catapults. Catapults are just cheap, well, relatively cheap. They're 100 gold. I personally don't see much of a use for the fucking battering ram, though. I mean, I get its purpose. It can take a lot of damage before it goes down, but why use that when you can just beat a gate down with a fucking trebuchet, and that takes a lot less time, and I think a little bit... No, they cost more gold, but... I need to fix this here. But, I mean, still, trebuchets, you get more use out of them. Battering rams, not as much. Because battering rams can do one thing and one thing only, and that's destroy gates. And I think they can destroy towers. Although, don't take my word for that. I need to get rid of all this damn red. I mean, granted, it's behind the flippin' map limit, or map border, but still, I want to get things straightened out. Saw some of it there. But as I said, I mean, if you like the original Crusader, you'll like this one. It's not as ambitious as it should have been. You get fucking deja vu trying to get that thing to work right. And this map I'm still gonna tweak it a bit. update it, make it a little bit better, and then I've been running some field tests with it, which, like I said, whoa, holy shit. Which, so far I've had some issues with, with the fucking estates not working and other things not working, and the AI is just not doing anything, really. I was playing the rat, I think, and I was testing to see how strong it was to take the, estate up here, and the rat kept getting massacred by this group here, so if you put a rat up there, yeah, he's gonna get massacred, or hell, if you even put him there, he's gonna get massacred. Whatever armies he's in to occupy the estates, they were just getting wiped out almost instantly. So I think with the tougher AIs, even the Shah would probably be able to at least make an effort to get in there. But my game plan for this one is to take on 3 wolves and 2 rats. If not, then 1 wolf, 1 caliph. No, 1 wolf, 2 caliphs, and 2 rats. It just depends, really. But on a whole, that's my more consensus on Stronghold 2 Crusader. The way the resources work, I like. I think they could have expanded it more. But I generally do like how things are with the resources. I do think wood is a little bit too overemphasized, because it really is just a matter of spamming gold to get that, and then everything else just kind of falls in line, so the economy is a little too simple. It kind of limits your strategies when one thing fucking works. The map editor, bugs aside, I like it. It's very easy, very user friendly. It took me about 20 minutes to get used to using it. You just got to know where things are. What ails? I'm glad they added in extra large maps, which is what this one is, because there are some maps where the moment you start off, it's like the enemy can automatically target you. And I've made. You all saw the Border Patrol 2 that I made, but I edited that one to make it more fleshed out, better looking, and stuff like that. Now that I know, oh, hey, they have estates, which I think estates in this game are stupid. I added them in just for the shits and giggles of adding them in, just to give players something to fight over for one reason or another. I just need to make sure the estates fucking work. Else, I'm just going to make them random strongholds for players to wipe out, occupy, destroy, whatever, and then build their shit on top of the old stuff, so... but that's my review. 7 out of 10. Good game, not a great game. Could have been better. Needs a better engine. The Havoc engine's fucking outdated. They need something. They need like a Frostbite engine or something. They need to really give this game a good power upgrade, because as it stands right now, an 8-player game is not going to do anything for anybody unless it's 4v4. You can't have an 8-man free-for-all and function with it. In the original Stronghold Crusader, you could do that. In this one, no, you can't. The building limit needs to be changed as well. I mean, like I said, this is 2014. The game should be running a lot better than this. So with that being said, I'm going to save this, give it another test run, then I'll probably get a video uploaded. And then I'm also going to do some Stronghold Crusader 1 videos, which I'm going to have it where I take on the 7 wolves again. I'm going to take on 7 Richards, and the thing with that one is when I fight 7 Richards, I'm just going to use Arabic units. I will not be using crossbowmen, swordsmen, knights, or anything like that. And then I'm going to do a fight against 7 Saladins, to where I can only use Crusader units, so you won't be seeing me use Arabian swordsmen, assassins, or horse archers, or slaves, or anything like that. And then I might do a beat them with their own tricks type of deal, where I'll take on an AI, and then whatever units and buildings that AI uses, I'll use them the same. So the rat, he just makes spearmen and archers. I'm going to fight the rat using just spearmen and archers, and just using apple orchards and very basic stuff. So I'll probably end up doing that. So it'll be me versus 1 AI using their own tricks against them. And when it comes to saving these maps, it can take it feels like it takes a fucking hour to save a map when you're just doing one little update. And that's because these maps get fucking huge in terms of file size. I'll actually need to look and see how big this one is if it gets through here. But, I mean, if you haven't picked up Stronghold Crusader 2 yet, you've been watching the videos and stuff like that, and I've seen some people get all bitchy and moany about it, like, oh my god, this game is... They ruined this game. It was a fucking failure. No. This game it had a very good launch. Compared to what we had before, this was a very good launch. I'm not saying that that's, not saying much, but look at how buggy Stronghold 2 was when it came out. Look how buggy Legends was. Look how buggy 3 was. And I heard 3 was an abysmal mess. I've never played 3. As soon as I saw that it was a shit game, I'm like, well, alright, I can pass up that one. But I've heard it's gotten a lot more stable. It's a lot better now, and so is Stronghold 2. which once they actually got Stronghold 2 working and functioning, I actually enjoyed it a bit. And the same with Legends. I enjoyed it a wee bit. It was kind of fun playing as like an evil vampire lord and using werewolves and hurling them at like castle walls and shit. Which I need to give those games a go, because while the story of Stronghold 2 isn't fun, the actual gameplay is actually not that bad. I think they went a little bit too in depth with the castle building, because you had like crime, you had squalor, you had pests, and all this other stuff that you had to deal with. Which, from a castle sim experience, like if you're doing just the sandbox mode where it's just you, and then you can turn on invasions and all that stuff. If you're just doing that, then yeah, that's fun. That's fine. That's actually pretty. That's great. But when you're doing the campaign, it's like, all right, I got to manage all this shit. When you're doing multiplayer, I got to manage all this and that and the other. And then the AI was garbage. Like, even with all the patches, the AI became garbagey. So with that being said, see what I mean about these? Like, it's still trying to save the damn game or the map right now. So with that being said, folks, I will see you all soon for possibly this map and then some more original Stronghold Crusader, and then I'll get to upload it now that Dead Space 2 has been uploaded, which I need to get to editing those, because I've been really busy with work and stuff. I'm doing a special duty in the military right now, and it's got me pretty much strapped for time, so I won't be doing too much recording. But thankfully, Dragon Age Inquisition comes out in about 17 days actually. I'm going to pre-order that sucker on, I believe I'm going to do it on Origin, so I have to give money to fucking EA. But, I like Dragon Age. It's a great game. I know people have their issues with 2, but I still like 2, and I need to finish uploading Awakening and then the Witch Hunt DLC, which I've kind of made those two into like one big thing. And once that's uploaded, I'm going to upload Dragon Age 2, and then alongside that, I'll get Dead Space 3 uploaded. I wanted to do some like horror-based games for October, but unfortunately, I didn't get Fallout 3 uploaded on time, and I didn't get all of Dragon Age uploaded on time. It's just I got strapped for time with a lot of things, so that's pretty much an update as well as a review. So I guess this is like me covering 3 things. Like, hey, here's a map. Hey, here's a review, and hey, here's what's going on with me and what to expect in the coming like 3 months. So I won't be as active as I have been for the last 5 months, and I probably won't be that active again until next year, say around the end of January. But again, it all depends. It may even spike to where it's like, oh hey, I'm here and I have free time to spend with my YouTube channel and all that other stuff. And then the next day it'll be like, oh yeah, I don't really have that much time. Sorry guys, real life is catching up with me. So with that being said, folks, this has been almost 30 minutes, so I'm going to end the video now, and I will see you all soon for whatever video I upload next. Have a good weekend.